In order for plants to grow, they need inputs of carbon dioxide, water, and energy. The chemical process by which plants use these sources to manufacture glucose. The building blocks of plants is called photosynthesis. In this process, oxygen gas is produced as a byproduct. The sunlight has a wave and the particles of photons are the smallest units of light. Photons oscillate along a path which is measured as a wavelength. The light emitted from the sun contains photons in a wide spectrum of wavelengths called electromagnetic spectrum. Photosynthetic organisms use only a small portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, called visible light. Photosynthesis consists of two sets of reactions, the light-dependent reactions and the light-independent reactions, or the Calvin cycle. Within the chloroplast are small disc-like structures called thylakoids, which are surrounded by a fluid-filled space called stroma. The reactions that synthesize glucose, the Calvin cycle, occur in the stroma. The light-dependent reactions occur in the thylakoid, or specifically sa thylakoid membrane. It is here that the conversions of light energy to chemical energy is initiated. In most photosynthetic organisms, thylakoid contains pairs of photosystems, called photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. That work in tandem to produce energy that will later be used in the stroma to manufacture sugar. The photosystems of thylakoids consist of a network of accessories, pigments, molecules, and chlorophyll, the molecules that absorb the photons of light within the pigment molecules. The absorbed light energy excites the electron to a higher state. Photosystems will channel the excitation of energy gathered by pigments molecules to reaction center chlorophyll molecules, which will then pass the electrons to a series of proteins located on the thylakoid membrane. Photons of light strikes the photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 simultaneously. We will examine what happens with the photons striking photosystem 2 first. The energized electrons are passed from the reaction center of photosystem 2 to an electrons transport chain. The electrons lost by photosystem 2 are replaced by a process called photolysis, which involves oxidation of water molecules producing free electrons and oxygen gas. While this oxygen gas is byproduct of photosynthesis, it is an important input to the cellular respiration pathways. As electrons pass through electrons transport chain, the energy from the electrons is used to pump hydrogen ions from the stroma to the thylakoid, creating a concentration gradient. This gradient powers a protein called ATP synthase, which phosphorylates ADP to form ATP. The low-energy electrons leaving photosystem 2 are shuttled to a photosystem 1. Within the photosystem 1, low-energy electrons are re-energized and are passed through an electrons transport chain, where they are used to produce an electrons carrier NADP+ to NADPH.